I'm here with Magazine with Jill, trying to show you guys the official poster that we have that we are sharing to our network in the magazine and online with Alexa Country Party. She is a celebrity country radio host. She is the one of a kind, you guys. There's not many people that I've met like Alexa, and we met her in such an organic way, you guys. So hi, Alexa, how are you today out of Ontario?
I'm great. How are you?
It's been such a journey with this last issue, and we love your photos so much from the CCMAs when we met you quite a few months ago, and we've stayed in contact. And you can see yourself, guys, you can see Alexa in the last like 3, 4 issues. I think it's been, we keep reusing
Yeah.
your photo because we just love it. She's the epitome of like the inspiration of like promoting these country stars the way we are doing right now, because we thought, why would we interview them when Alexa does this for her job and does such a great job? And all the country artists want to get interviewed by her and have been, and in some way, they know of her already because Ontario is like the main section for music within Canada. So when she came here to Calgary, it was quite the experience because we just right away were drawn to her, like, oh, you're the only like female, especially interviewer that was there at the CCMA Media Row. So we want to know like everything about you for the audience to follow you and keep seeing your work. So let's start from like, your dad was a tour manager, and so that's very cool. And your mom is really the one that's been there for you in your whole life with what you're doing now. She's your manager. So let's
Yeah.
get into the history of Alexa and why on earth country, and why on earth do you do this?
Going right back to the beginning. Like I said, my dad was a tour manager for the Good Brothers, and him and my mom went to Calgary they were invited to go with the Good Brothers to go to the Olympics there. I thought that was pretty cool. I've never been to Calgary before, so going this year was really exciting for me. I also got into country because they really liked country, and I saw line dancing and my neighbor was doing it. And there's a place really close to my house. And we started line dancing and it was a lot of fun. And that's where I got my love for all the older songs and my dad playing it on the radio for long drives and stuff like that. So that's how I kind of really got into it, touch and go with it over the years. But more recently, I don't know, something clicked and it's just something that I've become really into. The people are genuinely really good people. So I like being behind that and what they stand for, especially the Canadian ones. And
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a different
what they
motivation
stand for.
behind it.
But definitely the Canadian ones. What I have to say is that everybody in the Canadian country music industry really supports each other. The record producers are great friends with the radio hosts, and the artists are friends with the journalists. Like everybody, photographers, like everybody's besties. So that's what
Okay.
makes a welcoming community.
It seems like a niche. I've never, when I first met you, right? I was really drawn to how driven you are with one thing and doing it well, because there tends to be a little bit of just a small kind of like, I want to do it all, guys. And with
Yeah.
what you're doing, people really know, okay, this is what Alexa does. She knows country music. You know how to talk to people about it properly, because the in-depth interviews that you can do with people when you know them, you know the industry, you know the music,
Mhm. Yeah,
being
I really
radio host.
do. So much research goes into it. And, especially just starting out, I was drawn to my book. I wanted to cover so much topics. It was my first time meeting them, so I didn't know how it would be. Some people are super chatty, other ones not so much. And, you want to stay on topic, but then also it's good to go off topic a little bit to be more personable with them. So it's finding that sweet spot and from there getting more comfortable, and then knowing what to expect with each artist coming up makes you more prepared, and figuring out how much preparation you really do need to do. Sometimes for events when you only have 10 minutes with them at the CCMA Media Row,
Yeah.
and you're interviewing like 15 people every 10 minutes, somebody new. A lot of preparation goes into that, but also you can't be over prepped because then it seems too robotic. So again, finding that sweet spot.
Wow. Yeah, like your niche of Alexa Country Party is so you. Right, you're on the red carpet with these big, big events that happen, that you go to. So it's like we're definitely in the best country for celebrating that. And it's just like, yeah, without someone like you announcing who they are and how important they are and that they've got something new and the right timing too. So
Yeah.
it's not something that most people I know that are going to get into this genre of interviewing. So you're definitely one of a kind and have or far exceeded anyone who could even start doing this. But hey, good for them if people do what you do. That's the thing that you love is inspiring people. You share about your cat, about things you're interested, but mainly you're promoting other people. So today, that's
Yeah.
why we wanted to talk to you because people from our side have been asking, "Who's this girl that we see in the issue every issue? Like, how can I get on the radio with her?" So there's
Mhm.
been a few comments of like how cute you are as well, and I've been like batting a few people, "Hey, get away from her! Don't be bothering her." For real. So yeah. But I
Yeah.
know that something happened in between high school and where
Yeah.
you are right now. Like, no way did you jump from being one of the number one, like, known country artist interviewers and not have like a whole journey. So let's get into that.
Yeah. Well, I always want to be in broadcasting, but then in high school, I took drama,
Mm.
and grade 9 drama, we had to do monologues, and I was terrified. It really didn't go well. I think I sat on the stage,
Oh,
which
it didn't go
is
well. Okay.
really not good if you want to be in broadcasting. You have to be a public speaker and be okay with being having the spotlight on you and nobody around, right? So that really put a damper into my feelings, and I didn't take it again in grade 10, but I still want to be in broadcasting. So I forced myself to do it. There was a really great teacher that I had, and she said something and it clicked like overnight. And I was never afraid of public speaking again. And
Mm.
I think public speaking is so important. I think everybody needs to take drama at some point because it's really important for every industry.
Mhm.
So I definitely have to test a lot to my high school drama teacher.
Aw.
And so she gave me a boost, and we're still close today. She supports me all the time. We meet for coffee, and it's great. Afterwards, I went to university for drama, so that's kind of something I thought, okay, I could fall back on is drama teaching or broadcasting. They actually have broadcasting in some high schools now.
Nice. I
But
could
I
see that
figured,
for you, definitely.
yeah, I feel like if I started teaching right away, I would not like it in 20 years, and I'd be like a crusty teacher. And teachers are really important, and you want them to be, inspirational. So I figured I'd be a better teacher if I got experience in the industry first. That can be my plan B. If it doesn't go well, then at
Yeah.
least I have all the experience behind me. And if it goes great, then I don't ever have to teach.
Oh my goodness. That's good. You have a backup plan.
It's tough because with the art, like you don't necessarily qualify for a mortgage because you're working contract to contract, and you don't have the benefits, the health benefits, unless you're, again, working with a big contract with like a major network. So you really have to be really wise with your financial decisions. So with teaching, it's just like, teaching, being a nurse, you go into that job, okay, in this many years I can retire, and I'm going to
Yeah.
have this much of a pension, and my vacation days are this and this. So it's really a free for all out here being
Yeah.
in this industry.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying that you must really love it and the passion that you're bringing to it is like you're putting it like it is that type of job. And that's
Mhm.
what's beautiful is because obviously, you've had to do things for free on time to time. And that's so cool that it's brought you to where you are, but you've learned how to like maneuver, make it a certain business. And that's something too that people don't talk about. They want to just say like, "Hey, I made it. I'm here." But the
Yeah.
journey of how they got there, is not always so easy. And that's what's
Yeah.
inspiring to other people is to learn this exactly. We want to know like some of the craziest interviews, some of the craziest situations you've had to do. Like even CCMAs was just ridiculous how it was set up in a certain way. I felt like,
Yeah.
okay, guys, you can't just like have somebody talk to somebody for 5 minutes and think they're gonna get it's just content creation. And I think this is more what this is about for this. But to do
Yeah.
a real interview with somebody for at least 15, 20 minutes, it'd
Mhm.
be so nice to have that option there.
Yeah.
But it's not like that, right? When it's a media row, it's very quick. It's just getting every single person, which is hundreds of people there. So
Yeah.
that's like being able to see you handling that and then coming over and talking to us. That was really cool. That's kind of one of the reasons why we saw you're so into this series, it was like ebb and flow for you. Okay, yeah, you're coming in now, a new person coming. I wouldn't expect you. No worries, let's come on in. So it's just there's so much research and knowledge behind you with this. So let's get into some of the craziest and interesting and cool interviews that maybe inspired you, all the things for people to know.
Yeah, I'd have to say my first year, one of the interesting stories that I have, of course, I was nervous because CCMA Media Row was my first time ever interviewing people in person. I'd done a couple of phone interviews before, but in person was different. And this, like, you know how it goes. It's boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. So many people there. So I was a little nervous. And it worked like clockwork. I had so many artists come up to me asking for interviews, but I was booked solid, which was great.
Yeah.
I felt bad. Like, who am I to turn away people? I'm small potatoes, right? So who am I to do that? But it wasn't just rising artists that came to me that I had to turn away. One was actually Charlie Major, who is
Oh,
getting inducted that year into the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame. And I had to say no to him because I didn't have time. I've interviewed so many people and I do want to still, there's people on my list that I haven't yet. One in
yeah.
particular that I just got to do finally this morning that I did was actually with Lindsay L. All these years I had not
Lindsay is
interviewed
so
her.
famous here in
Calgary
Calgary.
girl. She's got a
Wow.
lot on the go right now with hosting season 2 of Canada's Got Talent. She's got new music, new song coming out tomorrow, and then she's going on tour with Shania Twain this year.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm here with is all about, is inspiring people. If they can do it, like I don't know, I feel like people in Canada, we have this wondering thought if because we're in Canada, if we'll ever make it like that big. Because the way marketing is and the US market is way seen up here as well. But there is something to be said for creating our own content, you guys, for Canada. It's very important. It's done by people from this country because there's
Mhm.
not enough of those types of people that are promoting severe Canada. It's always goes to the US people in the end because it's big stuff, right? But when they're from here, even if we're Canadian and they're from here, not here anymore, we still totally consider them. No, they were here first. They were ours. They made it. So that's something cool that every time someone like Lindsay L is being promoted, it elevates us as people, right? That hey, we're promoting them. And that's
Yeah.
why you have that name, the celebrity interviewer, because you interview all the biggest country stars that are considered that. So,
Mhm.
it's not just about the label and the name, all these people that you work with have worked very hard to get there and are doing it in the professional way and getting out there. But what do
Mhm.
you think about the people that don't have support, hun? What do they do? How would they connect with somebody like you? Like how much does that kind of thing cost for people? Like it costs money to be on the radio, guys. It's not easy. Even with the managers, they're paying money behind the scenes for all the stuff that goes on with creating the song and putting it out. But realistically, if there's somebody here watching that's like, oh my God, I'll never be like Lindsay L as big as that, because that's how you feel at the beginning. What
Yeah.
would you say? Like, how does a country star start out and get that attention? Like, is there something that they could do that you could kind of that you look at like, hey, I'm gonna give that person a chance. I'll do it for them. What's
Yeah.
going on with your mind with that?
Yeah, well, a couple years ago when I started, so my show in particular focuses on, like the bigger artists, but also we support more local ones that are rising, and then kind of not just so local, we do cross Canada too. If they've, put their stuff out on DMDS, they've released their singles and have made them available to radio. Anything that's marked as country, we'll give a listen to and play them. There's especially in the past couple of months, since COVID, a lot of people have been putting a lot of music out and there's a lot more competition. And I know
Mm,
some artists that have been holding out on releasing music right now, particularly because of that, which is smart.
timing.
Timing is everything. But what's really cool is TikTok.
Mm,
So many artists now, especially independent artists that don't have a label, putting
yeah.
the music out on TikTok, seeing how people react to it. And then when they do put together their EP, they'll pick out the little bits of what people have responded to and they know what people want. So if you're an independent artist, you can totally use TikTok to your advantage and put out music when you want to, not when a label tells you to.
Wow, I know there almost is a benefit. I know a few friends of mine who are like doing well in their music career, but they don't have an agent and it's
Yeah.
very independent, but you have to still do the same channels. Like That's the thing, you guys, to be on radio, you have to be professional and it has to be like vetted and stuff. People
Yeah.
don't know that, Alexa. They don't have no clue. People like me who are not musicians in this way, we think like, oh, cool, they probably just paid for it. It's like, no, guys, they had to be like behind the scenes ready for it and all the people saying yes. So it's not easy, you guys, you know? So you're
Mm-mm.
already interviewing people who have succeeded, but I have had so many people ask me about, oh, I want to be on her show. How would I get on there? And I think like, oh, you're not on the radio. Like you said, you can get out there in different ways. And I want to inspire people today to think big and not worry about if they have all that support that they need right now, because that's not where they are at in life. So yeah, to keep going, you guys, because even Alexa follows people on socials and, you know, finds new people in different ways as well.
The
So
more you put out there, the more I'll get more familiar with your name, not just myself, but producers of all the radio stations. Sometimes it is a time constraint. Like I would love to interview more people on Media Row, but there's just no time. Maybe the next year, if I get a request from them again, I'll put them a little bit higher up on my list of who I'm going to do because I know that they've been persistent and staying active and are going to be there year after year.
you know, having that obligation of feeling guilty that you didn't do something for somebody. Oh, I hate
Yeah,
that feeling. Hey,
so
you're like,
much.
oh no, they're gonna hate me if I didn't help them. But I feel like
Yeah.
no, guys, that's not how it works. With people who are
Yeah.
interviews, you have to respect them, and in the end, they'll support you, but in the right time for what they're up to.
Yeah. And I won't just interview like, three people from one label. I'll do maybe one from you, one from you, one from you. So
Okay.
it's a little bit of a fair chance for every label, a promoter, PR company, whoever's on their list. I'll try to at least do one for everybody.
So awesome, awesome. So let's talk about your music preference and what you're like. Who do you truly listen to when you're getting ready, when you're at home? Who you vibing to right now?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a huge Miranda Lambert fan. And it's funny, I think I have Spotify on just playing whoever, and I think it's got some sort of algorithm in there and it picks up who I'm actually talking to on social media.
Oh,
Or texting. I'm friends with Graham Scott Fleming and Kelly Prescott and Tegan Gaze. So if I'm texting them and I have Spotify on, they're coming up.
yes,
Oh,
Kelly Prescott is seen in our issue actually. Let's get into more about what's going on in your world. Like how busy you are. What are you up to, babe?
so busy. I feel like since it's the beginning of the year, there's been a lot more opportunities for collaborating with brands. Brands have reached out to me lately, this sweater being one of them. You've probably seen me
Yes,
post
I love
now
it.
on clothing line. They're actually based out of Las Vegas. They're pretty cool. As far as interviews go, I want to be consistent, but I can't overdo myself because it is only me. I'm trying to disperse some jobs out to others, but a lot of the preparation is me. I do all my own research and put
Mhm.
it all together and do postings for it. So that all takes time and do my radio show on top of that.
When can people tune into you? Where can they go? We'll definitely have links and all that for you guys, but we'll let her share.
Yeah, Monday to Thursday, 7 to 10 o'clock Eastern time. And it is also on the website, erinradio.org, and then on TuneIn app.
That's so cool. You guys, she has a YouTube channel. Anytime you want to check her out, you can go on Spotify. Wow, I gotta say, like country stars, like, is there something with them? They're all good looking. Like they're kind of like some of them are kind of like country, like looking like this, like on the farm kind of dudes, but they're all very good looking people. Oh goodness, that's awesome. I know, and the people that I see you with too, they just love like your energy and how sweet you are, you know? Who you are is the best part of what you're doing half the time because
Yeah.
you share like little insights about who they are that nobody would know about or like how they've treated you behind the scenes or how you guys got connected. And I just love that behind the scenes of who the person is a lot. You always do such a good job.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, like we got to photograph you, and I can't believe you still use the picture on your own
I love
profile.
it.
So, what do you think about the country music industry right now? I know you say you love the people within it. What could people do within that industry to get people more excited about supporting Canadian country music?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't even know that
Um,
there's an answer to that, to be honest.
Everybody's still riding the high from after COVID, and a lot of artists are going out and doing shows, whether it be at like Boston Pizza or at some vineyards. So you can, see them cheaper there. And also if you can go to a big music festival, you've got the Stampede in Calgary, which I've always wanted to go to. There's Cavendish and PEI, there's Dauphin in the Prairies, and then Boots and Hearts here. So there's lots of opportunities for the bigger ones. But during those bigger festivals, there's also smaller side stages. So if you go in between or earlier in the day, you can see some of these artists and they're really good. They're playing on a small stage, and then next year they're probably on that big stage. So that's a great way you can support them. And a lot of them, they're really good songwriters, the ones that are rising, and they rock some awesome covers too, but they really have a good, unique sound of their own. So I would highly encourage you guys to go and see these artists because they've got some really good music coming this year.